When I was a kid, I used to hear wild stories of a hidden city lurking beneath the waters of a vast desert lake, a place where fishermen would cast their lines over rooftops, where an entire town lay drowned beneath the waves. I didn't believe it, not at first, but then I discovered the legend of St. Thomas. Once a thriving pioneer town founded in 1865, St. Thomas stood as an oasis in the Nevada desert, nestled between the Virgin and Muddy Rivers, a true testament to the grit and resilience of those early settlers. But in 1931, everything changed. The construction of the Hoover Dam sent the waters of the Colorado, the Virgin, and the Muddy Rivers surging backwards, creeping ever closer to St. Thomas. The townspeople had no choice but to pack up and leave, watching helplessly as their homes, their streets, their lives, and their entire world disappear beneath the rising tide of Lake Mead. For nearly 70 years, St. Thomas lay forgotten beneath the depths. But in 2002, the lake began to recede and the ghost town slowly emerged from its watery grave. Today, we're stepping back in time, exploring the ruins of a town lost to history but never truly forgotten.
All right, because St. Thomas is a historical location, we're gonna drop this episode's Buffalo Nickel up here on the mesa between Overton and St. Thomas. So we're up on the mesa and there's 1, 2, 3 fire pits and then this spot right here. And this right here is where we're gonna place that Buffalo Nickel. So see if you guys can come find this spot and grab a treasure. Stop and see if there's anybody here taking payments. It actually looks like they are just letting people through today. Yep, it looks like we're just driving through. All right, so just after you pass that check station where the park rangers are at, sometimes there's a road that goes right here, and this is how you drive down to the hiking trail for St. Thomas. So we're gonna hang down that way real quick. Couple of ridges as you're driving through here that almost look like they're volcanic rock, which kind of contrasts and stands out here in this desert landscape to see that black igneous rock amidst the sand. All right, so we're standing up here to the trailhead down to St. Thomas. And St. Thomas is right down over there. You can see all the foundations of that old town. This used to all be completely underwater when Lake Mead was first filled. At one point, St. Thomas was 60 feet underneath water. But now Lake Mead has receded so much that the foundations to that old pioneer town are now uncovered. So we're gonna adventure down there and go check it out. So as we're filming at the head of this trail walking down to St. Thomas, my little boy looks up at me and says, "Did you just hear that?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "I just heard somebody say hello." The crazy part is that there's no one around us anywhere. So I don't know, maybe the spirits of St. Thomas are speaking to us as we're hiking down in there. So as you pass some of the trail markers, one of them shows wanted for back taxes. So this area was actually abandoned before being resettled because it was annexed into Nevada, and Nevada wanted them to pay the taxes on the land up front in gold. And there was a lot of settlers that didn't have any, so they got up and they left. And then later, more pioneer settlers came back and resettled St. Thomas. All right, so we're to the first foundation of one of those old settlements here in St. Thomas that was underwater. So here on this next trail marker, you can kind of see an image of the Hoover Dam there. And you see some images of them taking down the houses with those old cranes. Here's one of the water coming up on St. Thomas. And here is the last person in St. Thomas, Hugh Lord. So one of the reasons that this area was so important was it sat between two really important rivers. So the Muddy River, which runs down through Logandale, used to be Old St. Joseph. And then the Virgin River, which drops down into here from Utah. And St. Thomas sat right between both of those locations. So it was a prime agricultural spot to be able to raise crops. And they had plenty of water out here in this arid desert. All right, so we've come up on one of the main streets here in St. Thomas. And you can kind of see old settlements here. And as you go down, there's more foundations down there and down there. All right, so we're up on another one of those old foundations, and I kind of imagine maybe this was like a loading dock into a feed area, because it's got some ramps. You can see that old fence line runs all the way down there, and it's amazing that that fence line has survived underneath this water all of these years. If you were here 1930s or before, this is where you would have come to get some ice cream from the ice cream parlor, and this is all that's left standing of it. On one of these old foundations, there's a handprint from one of the settlers. And it actually happens to fit my little girl's hand exactly perfect. So this is what the old St. Thomas School looked like. This is what's left of it right here. It's just a shell of its former self. The vistas on this trail are just absolutely breathtaking. Now here's what's left of the old post office at St. Thomas. All right, so here's the old general store, the Gentry store. And off here in the distance, you can actually see the foundations for the Gentry Hotel. So because St. Thomas is on the bottom of a lake bed, there is tons of seashells here, and these are from the quagga mussel that is an invasive species out here. And those still exist in Lake Mead. In fact, if you bring a boat down to Lake Mead, there's checks on both sides of our state going out to make sure that you don't have quagga mussel on your boats, because other states don't want you bringing them to their waters. So as we're walking out of St. Thomas, Nevada, we're walking on the road that they probably took horse and wagon down to get to the old mercantile and the old general store down there behind us. All right, so we did the entire St. Thomas loop, and we're back here to where it began. Thank goodness, because we're running out of daylight. So as we finish up this loop here at St. Thomas, Nevada, this amazing old ghost town, it reminds me of the resilience of these people and their ability to just pick up and move as they saw those waters coming in, and to go to a new settlement and continue on with their lives. And I just want you to know that you have that same resilience built inside of you. You had ancestors who went through amazing and hard things that were just like this, and it's coded into your DNA. So I want you to remember in your everyday lives, as you guys face challenges, that you guys have the ability to overcome and to be able to rise above those hard things as well. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll catch you on the next one.